Welcome to Ramadan Ready on Let the Quran Speak, where we answer common questions about Ramadan to get you ready for the month. Dr. Shabir, welcome to Let the Quran Speak.
Pleasure to be on.
I want to talk about how Ramadan works because, for outsiders, it might seem quite strange, especially the whole idea of fasting. They want to know, how does fasting work? What does it entail?
Mm-hmm.
So, Dr. Shabir, I wanted to ask you, and one of the common things that people ask is not even water, you can't even drink water, right? So that's really surprising to people.
Yeah. So let me start with the basics then. Basically, the fasting entails abstinence from food, drink, and sexual intercourse from dawn till sunset. So then how does one make this work? Now, so typically, Muslims will get up early in the morning on the days of Ramadan, and they would have a morning meal. Then they will offer their morning prayers. Because it's quite early, if there's a fair enough gap between that and going to work, let's say, then many will go back to take a short nap before going out to work. Then coming back home from work, one might take a nap in the evening as well, because by this time one is a little bit tired, exhausted, lacking some energy. And that short nap in the late afternoon could rejuvenate you, get you ready, and by the time you get up, it's time to prepare for your evening meal, whether you have to cook it or order it in or whatever the case is, or reheat some leftovers from a previous day. And then you're ready for the evening prayer, which is at sunset. So you would offer as soon as the sunset time enters, you would then break your fast with something light, giving yourself space because you don't want to rush and overwhelm your system after it has been in the state of abstinence for so long. So you eat slowly. So you eat a little bit then, and then you have the Maghrib prayer, the sunset prayer that for Muslims occurs after the sun sets. And then finally you will have your evening meal. And, that the next day you start over.
So it changes around your entire schedule, Dr. Shabir.
That's right. Because normally you would have scheduled your activities maybe around lunch and, you do something before lunch or after lunch. Now, one meal is suddenly gone from your day. So you're going to schedule things differently.
So Dr. Shabir, let's talk about how fasting works. What does it mean to fast?
Well, the word fasting actually in Arabic, which is siyam or saum, the two varieties of the same word, it has the sense of stopping, of refraining from doing something. In the Quran, Maryam, the mother of Jesus, is directed by revelation. That if she were to encounter any human being at a particular time, that she was to say to them that she has vowed a fast to the merciful God, and so she will not speak to any human that day. Mm-hmm. So her fasting must have entailed fasting of silence, though ours does not. But the Quran reports it this way. So that would mean stopping from speaking, according to the linguistic meaning of this word, saum or siyam. So in our context then, fasting would be refraining from food, drink, and sexual intercourse.
Mm-hmm. So Dr. Shabir, sometimes people think that fasting is just about eating and drinking, right? But there's also another aspect of fasting, the spiritual aspect. So
yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, folks, there is the spiritual aspect, meaning that what I've described so far is like the literal base minimum, that shows that the person is fasting. But there is a kind of a hidden and internal aspect where a person through fasting is turning closer to God. Sophia, but when we fast, we feel that connection with God because we know we're doing it only for His sake. And,
Mm-hmm.
the stomach might be grumbling for food, the lips might be a little bit parched, and you really need to eat or drink something, but you're doing it only for God. And folks, when you do that for God, when you know that you're fasting for His sake, then you know that you have to refrain from everything that will displease God. You have to stay away from all kinds of sins, every disagreeable act. And then on the other hand, naturally you focus on pleasing God by doing all of the things that will be pleasing to God, like additional recitation of the scripture from God, remembrance of God, helping our fellow human beings, and so on. So, Sophia, really, it is a holistic and all-rounded experience. Mm-hmm. It's not just simply a ritual that we go through.
I believe there's a saying of the Prophet Muhammad that, if all you get out of fasting is, hunger, then you haven't really got anything at all, right?
Yes, there is a mention that for some people, all they will get is really hunger and thirst. It is even mentioned that he said, if somebody does not give up lying and cheating, basically, or قول الزور والعمل به, speaking falsely and acting falsely, then God has no need for such a person to give up his food or her food or drink. So it's almost a kind of a repudiation from God that you think you're fasting for my sake, giving up your food and drink. If you're not giving up your lying and cheating, then I have no need for you to do that.
So I guess let's make sure in Ramadan that we're not just hungry, but we're also doing the other things. We're also being good people as well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important things, folks. So whether one is fasting or not fasting, that's the bare minimum, that we have to be good persons.
Thank you for that,
You're welcome.
Al-Shibir.